This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me, Travis with PlayerProps.ai, and so we're locking in for the Friday MLB games. Now, for those that tuned into yesterday's show, we didn't start off on a great note. I was overcome with emotions now that my dog was diagnosed with, what was it called again? It's referred to as old dog disease, but there's like a fancy doctoral name for it. But he's still fighting it, still kicking it, and there's like a super small sign of improvement. In terms of like my morale, which you can clearly see, definitely that has improved. In a better headset than yesterday by a mile. But this medication stuff that he's on should be working essentially, I guess, and looking to see a lot more progress tomorrow. So it's like, I think they said it was like a 2 or 3 day window to see progress. Now, it's not a guarantee that all dogs recover from this disease, like I said yesterday, but I researched it more after the show yesterday, and I mean, he's got a pretty good shot, but it's not a guarantee. So we're gonna go ahead and continue to move on. For everybody that did reach out, whether it was via comments on YouTube, via DMs on Discord, or just messages on Discord with support, definitely appreciate that stuff. That's kind of why I believe that the PlayerProps.ai community is the best betting community on planet Earth, because like, we've gotten rid of all the trolls. There's no more kids. There's no more trolls. There's no more toxicity. Just a big family. And I proved that by having that massive player props party that a lot of you guys showed up to. Just everybody showed up in Orlando, and we all had a good time. And I want to kind of continue on with that. So definitely saw the community aspect as well yesterday with everybody that was reaching out, that watched the show. There's like maybe like 1 or 2 people that were saying like, hey man, like, it's not life or death in terms of like you doing a show for us. So if you are in the right headspace to do a show, if you don't feel like you want to do a show, like, you don't have to do a show, which I 100% agree with. And yes, there's a point to that. But at the same time, like, I feel like doing this show, even if I wasn't in the greatest headspace, was important to kind of show that like I'm not, like, we are not robots. Like, it's okay to not have good days. We don't, like, whether it's in betting or in life in general, which I know yesterday wasn't related to betting, but everybody's human. Everybody has bad days. Everybody has good days. I am not a multimillionaire that is telling you to follow my locks or my picks because you're going to win more money than God. I'm definitely not saying I'm a billionaire or a trillionaire, but I'm not even saying that I'm a millionaire. I'm just somebody, just an average person, average Joe, if you will, that saw that there's a lot of people, because I have 200,000 people in my Facebook group. I got 16,000 people in the Discord. I got tens of thousands of people in other communities that I've built over the last few years. And I'm seeing that there's a lot of people struggling. Some of them won't even consider it struggling. Like, if they're depositing $100 a day in their bankrolls and their sportsbook accounts, and they don't consider that struggling. You should not deposit more than once. That is your ultimate goal. You deposit once, you follow our guidelines, and you never have to deposit again. That is the ultimate goal. Now, again, I'm not someone who's coming out here and pretending to be something I'm not. I'm literally just a person that knows enough to help people that are the people that are struggling the most with sports betting. And so I feel like by doing this show yesterday, I kind of, not in the right headspace, I feel like I drove that point home, is that like I'm just a human. I'm not some crazy elite bettor. I'm somebody that had the ability to see a problem in the sports betting space, to design an app for everyone, to make most of it free so you guys can learn it on your own without sending me a single penny. And then once you're comfortable understanding how to use the app and understanding how to follow our guidelines, then you upgrade, and then, sky's the limit. So again, appreciate everybody that reached out. Let's find something for today. If you have been paying attention and you did exactly what I told you to do in the last 3 episodes, you made profit. So we made profit on Tuesday, we made profit on Wednesday, and we made profit on Thursday. So we're going to go for 4 days in a row of profit. And if you're out there, you're like, what are you talking about? I didn't make profit on those days. Then you didn't listen to the words coming out of my mouth. You probably just fast forwarded to the end, did your own thing, and shot yourself on the foot. That's why you should be joining the PlayerProps.ai community. We take those bullets out of your foot. Stop shooting yourself. But yeah, let's go and flip things over here. I think we have a pretty good slate today. Let me check. We got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we got a monster slate today. So hopefully we find something nice. Do we always do? 3. I think this is like, we moved this down to like 17 at this point. So again, we're looking for the trifecta. That's what we're starting with. And if you're like, what is a trifecta? That means you're not in the Discord, because there's a Discord channel called Trifectas that has all the information of the things I talk about in much more detail. When you're first starting PlayerProps.ai, the first thing you want to make sure you do is you want to follow, excuse me, you want to follow the 20-80-20 rule, and you want to follow the trifectas. If you are losing a lot more than you're winning, you do those two, and it will definitely curb your losses. Now, it's not going to make you lose 0 times, but it's definitely going to make you lose a lot less. And that's the guarantee that PlayerProps.ai has that nobody else offers. I guarantee that if you're losing all your bets, you come into the community, you apply yourself, you follow the bankroll management 20-80-20 rule, you follow the trifectas, it's a guarantee that you will lose less often. And there's been not a single person in now 12 and a half months, almost 13 months, that has done all of those things and has not lost less often. That's why it's a guarantee, because it's impossible not to lose less often if you just follow the guidelines. So looks like there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unders and 3 overs here. So the problem with the first 2 overs you see on the screen with Chris and Bowden is the sportsbooks are definitely favoring the under. Plus 125, plus 125, even though there's a 1.03 difference on Bowden and a massive 2.47 difference on Chris versus Cleveland. So if we just look at him, yeah, they're definitely 62.96% implied chance the sportsbooks are saying that he goes under. Granted, he's got 2 starts already this season where he threw 8 strikeouts. Cleveland's not huge on striking out, but we can pull them up real quick. But everything here for the overplay looks okay. I mean, head-to-head versus Cleveland, he only versed them, let's see, 1, 2, 3... Only versed them 3 times last year. But you see here, 1, 0, and 3. So Cleveland is kind of one of those teams that they're not officially on the ban list. We don't go under, or we don't go over on them. But I'm actually curious now to see where they rank so far this season on Ks. Looks like they're right there in the middle. So they're right here at 17. They average 8.33 over 9 innings, 7.67 over the last 3. So they're getting better at not striking out. And their last game, they're only at 6. So yeah, they're getting, I don't know, more decent. Is that the right thing to say? They're just getting better at not striking out. So let's go back to predictor. So even though AI is all over it, we don't just blindly tail what the AI says. We have a system set up. So Chris, we're not looking at. Bowden, we're not looking at. There's an overplay here. 4.5 is Matt Boyd's line, Chicago pitcher versus the Dodgers. Sportsbooks are favoring the over. The projection is 1.0 over, which is exactly the minimum what we look for. It looks like he even has 100% head-to-head, which is interesting as well. He's pitched 2 times this season, got 5 Ks each. He versed the Dodgers, looks like last season on September 6th. Got 6 Ks against them. And then if we're dating back to last season, I mean, he hooked essentially. He only missed by 0.5 on the last game of the season against the Yankees here. So he is someone that can consistently get 5 strikeouts or more. Yeah. And then he's 100% on hitting this line so far this season with the 2 games he started. And he actually, San Diego, which if you look here, San Diego is the least strikeoutiest team, and he still got 5 against them. I know for a fact that Dodgers is not the least strikeoutiest team. We can go back to the list and see where they are. But so he's got 75% accuracy through 10 games recorded. That's really, really good for strikeouts. But now that we say that, let's look at the Dodgers here real quick. So they are 12th most. That's not really, that's slightly better than the middle, but the Dodgers are 12th most strikeouts per game this season, 8.93, but they're getting worse. They're striking out more because if you see here, their last 3 games, they've averaged 12 strikeouts over 9 innings. And their last game they played, they got 10 strikeouts. So it looks like they're trending worse. And it looks like you see the 9.75 here. This is away games. And then the 7.83. So they're striking out less at home, more away, which is interesting. I feel like some teams they just suck if no matter where they're batting from. And then some teams crush no matter what city they're batting in. But this Dodgers game, though, is interesting. So this is the last game of the day. This is 10:10 p.m. This is at Dodgers. This is at home where they strike out a little bit less. But can our guy, Matthew Boyd, who through his 2 starts this year, he's not allowed a single run. He's 1-0, so one of the games he played, he didn't get a decision. The Dodgers are minus 190 money line. So we don't expect the Cubs to win, but it's just by the time Matthew Boyd gets taken out of the game, can he get them to strike out 5 times? He's the only person out of the 3 overs that is all green. Huh. So I like this, but we're gonna look at the others. I don't think the unders. I don't think there's gonna be somebody we like more than Matthew Boyd right now, but we're gonna check anyway. Jacob deGrom, massive line of 7.5. I think it's pretty much as high as they get. You rarely see an 8.5. I mean, that's not impossible, but you rarely do. This is the first time he's kind of been pitching for a while. So he pitched last season. And then his last game pitching, let me rephrase that. He was pitching last season early on in April. 28th of April was his last game, and then he went on the IL for quite some time because he didn't come back until September, where he pitched 3 games and went 4, 5, and 5. In his 2 games so far this season against Boston and Tampa Bay, he's got 6 and 3. So the last time, it's almost been an entire calendar year since he got more than 6 strikeouts. And that was 11 against the Raiders, the Athletics. I saw LV. That's going to mess me up for a while. What's also interesting is his line started at 6.5, and just a few hours ago it hopped up to 7.5, so it's even a better under. It still would technically have been a trifecta at 6.5, but we're definitely going to take the 7.5 line on that. Maybe this is one of those days where we have multiple ones we really like, and we do what we did on Tuesday and Wednesday, where we just look at 2 or 3 of them. Jack is not a trifecta. Reese is a trifecta. Bailey's not. Okay, so let me look at these 2 guys here real quick. Toronto, I think, is on the ban list. We go under against Toronto. I'm pretty sure we don't. Let me check. Let me pull up the Discord here. Look for the MLB ban list. Toronto is not technically on the ban list. Okay. So this guy, Sugano, has started twice this year. His first start against Toronto, the same team he's versing today, he only got 1 strikeout. And then he versed Kansas City, who's not really a good strikeout team to verse because they don't strike out too often, as we just mentioned earlier, but he got 4 against them. So his only time versing Toronto, he's only has 2 starts. I think since, I don't know if he's a rookie that he came over the Japanese league. I don't know too much about this pitcher, actually. But he's 0-2, or not 0-2, but he's 0-1 versing Toronto. So can he strike them out more? Going under against Toronto. He can get 3. He just can't get 4. Let me look at this real quick. A 98% chance of rain. So that's interesting. This is, okay. So a 98% chance of rain, 50-degree temperature. What's interesting about 98% chance and why you want to factor that in is A, it's either the game's going to get postponed and it's not going to affect you negatively because it's just going to be a void if the game does get postponed, if it rains too much. But how it benefits you is if you're going under on a pitcher. This is mainly for pitchers. Rain is the most important on pitchers, or the weather in general. So if the game starts and Sagano pitches and he goes maybe like 2 or 3 innings, so let's say he's at 3, and you're like, oh man, if he goes another inning, he might get his 4th one and bust. And then rain happens for an hour or 2-hour delay. There's like very, very high chance that they don't put him back into the game. That because his arm is essentially cooled off, they'll typically on very long rain delays, they'll put a different pitcher in. So he could potentially be removed from the game, not from sucking, not from getting lit up, but because of weather. So that's in our favor if we're going on the under. But again, if it's postponed, it won't negatively affect you because the game never happened. Unless you're betting on a sportsbook that's a psychopath. But yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. So this is interesting based on the weather play as well. The problem here, so we added to the ban list after he went under on, was it Sale maybe? But I have a rule in the ban list that says we don't go under props on aces. But it's arguable. Jacob deGrom was definitely an ace. But since all of his injuries, he has definitely not been the same. I mean, it's the same thing as like Justin Verlander. Like that name, like you're like, oh man, he's an amazing pitcher. But like you look at his stuff recently in the last like year, he's definitely fallen off. Like I don't think he's even owned in my fantasy baseball league. That's how bad he is. Like there's 14 teams. On a single 14 team has Justin Verlander on their bench or on their starting team. So that's how you know he's bad, or he's gotten a lot worse. I do like the fact that it's at 7.5 now, that the line went up. So maybe, I mean, look, there's one more. So Jacob deGrom under, Sagano under, Matt Boyd over, and then this Reese Olson guy hasn't hit this line since July of last year. Had 9 straight starts of getting 5 strikeouts or less. He's had 2 games so far this year where he struck out the Dodgers 5 times, struck out the White Sox 5 times, but he's yet to get 6 this year, and he hasn't gotten 6 since July 5th of last year. He's striking out lefties 25% of the time, striking out righties 20% of the time. This is the benefit to signing up for premium if you guys don't have premium yet, is that you get access to all these things and you're not just getting the typical one play that we do. So yeah, so let's say for example, I could have stopped the show at Matt Boyd over and we wouldn't really looked into or dived into the other ones, but that's why you upgrade to premium. So when I teach you what to look for, you then pull up the app with your premium access that you have for just $1.97 a day, which if you're betting more than $10 a day, that's a no-brainer, which is why I priced it so low. But now that we've spent more time and gone into these other ones make sense too. Let me look at Sagano's strikeout stuff. I don't know. I don't like Reese Olson as much. And that's just getting a bad vibe with that because of his strikeout rate. So this guy's not, so Jacob deGrom has not been striking out lefties too well, but on righties he's striking out so far this season 28.6%. I see he's versus Seattle. We actually targeted Seattle a few days ago, right? We had Houston versus Seattle, and even though we had a rule that we don't go under Ks versus Seattle, there's so many things that were pointing in the right direction that he actually did go under against Seattle. I think his line was like 5.5 or 6.5. Was it Blanco? We did somebody this week, a Houston pitcher. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's really hard to get 8 Ks. And he hasn't done it for an entire calendar year. In our ban list, we have don't go under Ks against Seattle and don't go under pitcher props on aces. He's a former ace, and he's versing Seattle. So maybe that's 2 signs that we just don't touch him. So maybe we'll just look at... Nope. So the other 2 guys on the unders don't really have... So what I was worried about is his strikeout rate, but I think Jacob deGrom has a better strikeout rate versus righties, and there's typically more righties in a lineup than lefties. He's versing the Twins. They only have 3 lefties. So you know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do the 3 play again. Does not mean put it all in a parlay. We're doing these 3 individual bets. And if you only do parlays, you're losing more money than you're winning. That's on you because that's not how to bet smart. So we're doing Boyd. Actually, hold on. We got what? Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore. Okay. Before we say the official lines, let's check the best lines. Okay, 3.5 is the best line for Sagano. 5.5 best line for Reese. Who was the third one we were looking at? Kansas City. 4.5. Okay. So, that's what we're doing. We're doing Matthew Boyd over, Reese under, Sagano under. You do those as singles. I mentioned every single time we've done 3 this week. You do those as singles with so you go to the bankroll management calculator. You can do it in the Discord. You can do this on your app. If you're on the app, just go up here and click the profile button and then tap on betting calculator. Go to make it say bankroll management or bankroll calculator. You type in the exact amount of money in your sports book. So if you have $100, you type in 100. If you got $10, you type in 10. Whatever it is. And then it'll tell you, this is how much you can wager today, and this is out of that amount that you can wager today. This much is to the safer 1 to 2 picks. This much you do for the 3 to 6 picks. And so all that stuff is defined for you, so you don't have to ever do the math on your own. So what I've been saying this week, that if you hypothetically it tells you can wager $20 today, you do 6 on one, 6 on the other, 6 on the third, and then that's $18. You have $2 left. The $2 out of the 20. Then you take that amount, and then you can do a 3-pick parlay with that. But you definitely have to do the singles first. And so far, we have been profitable for the last 3 days with the bankroll management strategy. So make sure you implement that. But we'll see you guys in the Discord. I'll be back on Monday, I believe. And if you have any questions whatsoever, do what we always tell you to do. Ask them. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Get in the Discord. If you're in the Discord and you're like, hey, why do I only see 3 channels? Well, one of the channels you can see is called the Welcome channel, and there's rules in there telling you how to unlock, or guidelines telling you how to unlock the other channels. It's free to do. You go to your PlayerProps.ai app or the desktop. You click on the profile icon. On the app, it's on the left over here, but on desktop, it's over on the right. You do that, and then you click a button that says Connect Discord. You log into your Discord, and that opens up all the free channels. That's where you ask your questions. But ladies and gentlemen, good luck tonight. See you guys tomorrow. Or no, Monday. Yes. See you guys.